Maxine David. Welcome to the Tell-El Report. This is the Richmond County dump site. 100 tons of garbage is trucked here on a weekly basis. I spoke with Wilfred Levange, who supervises the Richmond County dump site. Could you tell me a little bit about the garbage that you have burning in this pit over here?
That's all domestic garbage, all the stuff that the trucks hauls in, like the garbage trucks and all that. And most of it is just plain garbage.
Okay. So what would be the difference between domestic and the other garbage?
Well, the steel, it's all pressed, it's all taken away, that stuff.
Okay.
So we try to get all the steel on this side and all the garbage goes on that side. We try to burn it, get rid of it.
So you're trying to do a little bit of recycling here as much as you can?
We do all the recycling here. Almost every piece of steel is gone for recycle.
Okay.
And, there's a guy that comes in from New Brunswick with a press. It's called a press, and it's all pressed together and sent back to New Brunswick, that stuff, for recycling.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you recycle here, or certain precautions that you would take?
Well,
with your fridges and...
Oh, the fridges, they're all drained. Most of them are drained before they come in here. Okay. Most of them, but the doors are off, and so the kids don't go in it and stuff like that. So we try to keep it as good as we can.
Yeah, well, there's only so much you can do.
That's
and
right.
What about the batteries?
The batteries, they're all taken to a junk dealer and, because of the acid, stuff like that.
So about how many tons of garbage do you think there is here now?
Right here, there? This stuff here you're talking about?
Yeah, all of it, the whole
Oh,
place.
there's only about, right here, there's only about 6 tons, maybe 9 tons.
Yeah.
And over in the pit, well, it's hard to say because we push it out with a dozer.
Okay.
We keep on cleaning the pit out. So we try to keep all the papers from flying out the pit and making messes and all that. The deeper the pit is, the better it is. So that's the old story in a nutshell.
Yeah. And like you say, it's a dump.
It's a dump. We try to keep it as clean as we can. That's all we can do.
Yeah.
The municipality recycles what it can, but most garbage is burned. The cost of a blue box type program for a rural area is more than the county can bear. But there is something we can do. I spoke with environmentalist Mary Pat Cude.
Yes, we hear a lot about recycling in the big cities like Toronto and Halifax and places like that. And it seems as if you need a big organization and blue boxes and a lot of special things to do it, but you don't really. This is what I've learned here. Right here in Richmond County, we have a lot of things that we can do right now under the present circumstances to recycle paper, bottles and aluminum cans, tin cans, and of course compost. So all of those things can be handled right now, and without any help from anybody, from the municipality, from anybody.
Yeah, and in a sense, the municipality can't afford it, because if they had any kind of recycling here on the island, it would just cost too much. You know, for Richmond County, our taxes would be sky high. Yes. And I mean, as we seen at the dump, or when I was at the dump, I was talking to Mr. Levange, and he was explaining how they can do a bit, but they can't do everything. Not the kind of recycling that they're doing in Halifax and the larger centres with the blue box and all of that.
No, we can't. But we do have things we can do right here. And this is what I've come to see over the last few years. And I think probably, well, one of the most impressive facilities that we have is for the recycling of paper, for newspaper and magazines. Any newspaper, any magazines we have can go to Louisiana Pacific. And I visited Louisiana Pacific last spring, this past spring,
Oh, yeah.
with our camera and
Right on.
and our sound man.
That was a good idea.
Yes, and we had a tremendous visit and really saw the plant and how it works. It's a tremendous facility. They will take all the newspaper and all the magazines that the local people can bring in, everything. And you just drive up to the door. There's a little green shed with a hatch on it, and you can drop your magazines and newspapers in there. And as I say, they'll take all you can bring. They want all they can get. And the manager of the plant took us through, and it was
really?
really interesting tour. Really interesting tour. They process 50 tons of paper a day in this plant, which ends up being 80 bales. And you'll see in some of the footage the size of these bales and just what 80 of these bales would mean. They buy their paper from Boston, New York, Montreal, all over, every place they buy the paper. And they use so much, they say that if all Nova Scotians recycled all of their newspaper and magazines every day and brought it all to Louisiana Pacific, they would just have enough to operate, which of course we don't do, so Louisiana Pacific buys it. But there's certainly a place to bring it. For every resident of Richmond County, there is a place to bring your newspapers, your magazines, and your light cardboards, not corrugated cardboard, but things like shoe boxes, that sort of thing. They can take that as well. And when the paper comes in there, it's the bales are opened, and it goes up. It's sort of dumped out onto the conveyor belt, and goes up the conveyor belt, and from there it goes through a number of processes, but it ends up in the blue cyclone. And when you approach the plant, it's very clear just what the blue cyclone is. You really can't miss it. It sounds like a song almost.
Oh, really?
The blue cyclone. Basically the paper is spun around in the cyclone, around and around, and shredded in the process. When it comes out at the bottom, it's a very, very fine dust. It's sort of like thick dust bunnies from under your bed. That's what it reminded me of at any rate. It's gray and sort of matted and looks like thick dust. And this material is then pressed into a paper that goes on top of the gypsum layer that forms wallboard.
Oh,
So you
yeah.
have pressed gypsum in the middle, and then this recycled paper, it forms the top layer. So the most wonderful thing about recycling paper is that the tree has been used not once but twice. If all you do is read your newspaper, the tree's been cut down for 5 or 10 minutes of reading in the morning. If you bring your paper into Louisiana Pacific to be recycled, it will go into wallboard, and that wallboard may go into a house that will last 100 years. So your tree will have died for more purpose than just being read in the morning paper. And obviously it's important to our environment that we do recycle paper. And our forests, as we know, are under great strain.
Yes.
Yes, we're harvesting far more wood than we really can. So recycling paper has to be the answer.
Now, what is it that you take to Floyd McDonald's?
Well, what I take to Floyd McDonald's is my tin cans, and they're really, really easy to recycle. I don't know what your family's like, but we go through a lot of apple juice, a lot of canned tomatoes, orange juice tins, this sort of thing. I'm not talking aluminum cans now, I'm talking tin cans. And what I do is take the top and the bottom off, rinse them out. It's very important to rinse them out because otherwise they attract vermin and you'll get all sorts of unpleasant things in the environment from that. But you rinse them out, and then I flatten them. I just put my foot on them and press them down so they're flattened, and I save them up until I get several bags full, and then one of us, either my husband or I, will make a trip over. Usually I'm on my way to work, so it's no problem. I'll just stop off in Janvrin's Island and dump my tin cans, much flattened so they don't take up so much space, into one of the old cars that will be recycled at Floyd McDonald's. So,
Yeah, and this is something you kind of do as a neighborhood thing, you know, if you have 3 or 4 of your friends or whatever, and take turns. So you probably only go like once every 3 months or so.
Exactly.
You know, if you had friends that were doing it every couple of weeks or whatever.
Yes, that's a really good point, Maxine. And the same thing applies to Louisiana Pacific and to this. You don't need to make a trip every week. You shouldn't make a special trip to do any of these things. And maybe you can include several households and use a trip that someone's making anyway and just tack this along, because we're not really saving the environment if we use all that gasoline to go these places. But
Yeah.
but if we just include it in a trip, we're already making it doesn't. These are
Now we've talked about paper, and we've talked about our tin cans and aluminum cans. Of course, there's a special place for aluminum cans.
Yes, there is. Aluminum cans are worth money, so there's a little bit more incentive to bring aluminum cans in. They go to the bottle exchange. Bottles, of course, as well. Bottles and aluminum cans can go to the bottle exchange in St. Peter's. And I believe many of the liquor stores also will take some of these products. So these are also very easy to recycle. But as I say, there's a bit of money in those things. You can actually make a few cents on each beer bottle or on an aluminum can.
Yeah, well, yeah, it gives you a little bit of incentive, but you won't get rich or anything. But
No.
you might help save the environment just a little bit.
Yes.
Just a teensy weensy. Now, plastic bags, I know myself now, I recycle plastic bags all the time because I take them down to my mom's store. But when we were growing up, we didn't call it recycling. We always recycled, but we called it not wasting. And I know a lot of the people in the area already do a lot of recycling, and they just don't waste. I know my mother-in-law at the head of the harbor, when she has scraps or anything like that, she takes them out and she puts them out for the birds, because she feels it's her duty to feed the birds. Like, why throw it away if some other creature can eat it? You know.
Definitely.
So there's a lot of things you don't have to be throwing in our dumps.
Yes. Which of course brings us to the subject of compost, which is just your household scraps. Not meat, of course, because meat doesn't break down that easily, but all vegetable matter and fruit matter and egg shells and fish is all right. It will break down more quickly. Those all the scraps left over from those sort of things can go in your compost heap, and given about a year and a little bit of tending and turning and covering with soil occasionally, you have some wonderful rich loam for your garden.
Yeah, and once you started, I know we started composting last year, and you almost feel guilty if you put it in the garbage can, because
Exactly.
why not? You know, especially we started gardening a couple of years ago. We have a couple of small gardens, so it's really neat. And sometimes some little creatures will go back there and eat it, like the seagulls once in a while, but it's way in the back, so we don't notice it.
Well, the same thing happens with my compost. It's the crows, I think it's a regular feeding ground, but
Yeah.
like your mother, I don't begrudge the crows. They can have all the eggshells and
That's
leftover
right.
pancakes.
Well, let's
they
face
want.
it, the seagulls, how much fish would they have now? I mean, with the fishing
Exactly.
the way it is, so I mean, if they can eat it and it doesn't hurt anybody else, what difference does it make?
Exactly. It's better to
Or
share
throw it.
Share it with
Yeah.
our neighbors on the planet. I think after you start recycling, it doesn't matter if you throw a can in your garbage without taking the paper off and flattening it, or you fail to take a plastic bag back. Plastic bags, by the way, can go back to the liquor store. They take them at the liquor
Yeah.
store if you don't reuse them. Although many people just give them to corner stores to use, or some people use them in various craft things that they're doing. There are many uses.
Oh yeah, you can really use your imagination.
Exactly.
For any of the things, like, a lot of people use plastic bottles for crafts and egg cartons. I mean, children use them, even the styrofoam cartons and different things like that. I mean, we don't like styrofoam, but we can use it. If we can use it again and kids enjoy it, because it makes nice, cutouts. They do all kinds of things with it.
Yes.
But even if I think the message, if you could start with one thing, I know I started with the composting, and now there's that much less in my garbage. I
And
never
the tin
had,
cans are an easy
and then
step.
if you start with you do one thing at a time, and maybe over a period of a couple of years, maybe you'll get you'll be down to a really minimum amount of garbage. I know some people have quite a bit of garbage, at least 2 or 4 bags a week.
Yeah.
And if you can make it from 4 down to 3, and then to 2,
Yeah.
and maybe to 1.
Yeah,
I mean,
actually, we
that's
are down to 1 bag a week, and that's
A
taken
week?
a while. A month. I'm sorry, 1 bag a month, and
One bag a
one bag
month.
of garbage a month goes up to top of our driveway to go out. And that's, the rest of it is all goes somewhere else. It is easy to recycle plastic bags, and that we can use them for things, and we can take them back to the liquor store, or take them to the liquor store, and they recycle them there. But perhaps even better than that is if we can remember to carry a shopping basket with us that isn't plastic, some sort of mesh bag or cotton bag. It's easy enough to make them, or you can buy them. You can buy fancy ones with things that say "Save the Earth" and that sort of thing on them. Or you can make something up yourself. But of course, if you can go to the store and say, no, just hold the plastic bags, please. I'll take my groceries home this way. And
Depending upon how much groceries you have too, because I mean, you know,
you could have
but I
5
know-
or 6 of these things. You know,
you could, you know, but if you don't, I know like where my mother owns a little corner store, a lot of the older people come in with their own bags. They prefer to have their own cloth bags, and this is not something, this has been years and years, because
course.
so a lot of the people do have
of course.
a feeling for recycling. You know, you didn't always have a plastic bag. Like a plastic bag was very, you know, years ago. And
when
these
I
people
was a
still
child, there
remember.
weren't plastic bags. You didn't. You took your groceries home in a paper bag, and the meat man wrapped your meat in a piece of brown paper with a piece of string around it. It was much different.
That's how my mother does it now.
Well, maybe the
We're still
smaller-
living in the past, I guess.
Well, the past can become our future, I think.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
part of the message.
But we're not that far away from it, you know, because I think we went into a cycle of like, you know, everything is limitless, like our fish, and
Yes.
we're certainly feeling that now.
Since
and
the
it isn't.
50s. Since the 50s, really. We had a feeling that it was boundless. We could just take and do, and grow and build as much as we wanted. And now we're realizing.
Now we have to think of what we're throwing away and what we're buying, and I think it's just a total awareness of what we're doing.
Yes.
This is our earth.
Yes.
We have to look after it.
Yeah, we've seen it with the fish and with the fisheries, and if we're not careful, I think we'll see it with the forestry.
Forests.
We really have to be alert to that one now.
These are troubled times. We have to take it easy. Try to draw the line before we lose it all. Reckless confrontation, an ugly twist of fate. I 1 foot over that fine line. Will we hesitate? But how could we be so blind? We don't have time to stick our heads in the sand. These are troubled times. Our worried minds could save the day. But don't say come what may. 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 Yeah, they're knicker-picker. It's time that you and I, oh, we gotta make a stand. Gotta tell the politician, oh, we've gotta save the land. Yeah, we've got to save the ocean. Gotta save ourselves some air. Oh, gotta save our sense of reason. We've got to show them that we care. 'Cause you and I are the key. We have the power, we are the source. Together we'll find a way. What do you say? We'll think it over, of course. say come what may. Don't say come what may. Ah, don't say come what may. Yeah, don't say come what may. Rapper went there, nicker.
For more information on keeping our environment clean, contact the Clean Nova Scotia Foundation, P.O. Box 2528 Central, Halifax, Nova Scotia, B3J3N5.
Hi, welcome to Tell Ill. My name is Melanie Poirier, and today we're fortunate enough to have Billy Joyce in the studio with us today to talk about a summer cleanup project him and 4 other students were involved in. Welcome, Billy.
Thanks, I'm glad to be here.
My first question is, what exactly is this booklet about?
Well, the booklet is, it's like a branch of the whole project that we did. The whole project, as far as the grant was concerned, it had to do with literacy and environmental issues and computers. And this leg was on environmental issues. And what we had to do was prepare a booklet to give to the public about the junk that we picked up, the garbage that is found in the area, and put it in the Pit of the Gras area, all of St. Joseph's Parish. So what we had to do was get a booklet prepared for the people and get it out to the public.
So what was your main goal for the booklet?
The main goal was to inform all the people from our parish and the neighboring parishes, like the Scoos and Arishat and West Arishat, and so on, of the types of garbage that is found most often, like in the area. Like what we had to do was do a full cleanup of the parish, and we split it up into different little areas. And I'll explain that a little later if you want.
Okay, how did you organize yourselves to clean each little corner of the parish?
What we did is we split up into 2 groups. There was Tina and Stephanie and Jolene. They went on their merry way, and then me and Joel decided to do another little area. And what was happening is that we had a little, like a card, an information card, and had a list of about 150 types of garbage, from little cigarette butts to even tires. And what happened is that when Joel would pick something up, he'd look at me, and if you pick up a pop bottle, he'd look at me and he'd say, well, he says, I pick up a pop bottle, so I just mark it down as a pop bottle. We did that every single piece of garbage. And then once we all got all that information down, we went back to the Collège L'Acadie, and I jumped on a computer, and we decided to put it down like in a database form. And the database form is in the booklet. And I'll show you an example of it. Like this, for example, is the database form. And what we have is a list of all the different garbage, and then we have the number of all the garbage, like the number of all the pieces of garbage we picked up. And once we did that, we decided to do graphs. We have a bar graph and we have a pie chart. And the bar graph shows the exact number, well, not the exact number, but it gives an approximate number of the garbage you picked up. Like we had plastics and we had metals, paper, glass, and we had others. Now the others involve like wood or rubber or other things like that. Just stuff that we didn't have down that we just jotted down as others. So that's how we organized it. And then once we had the booklet together, we're going to give it out.
What's the main thing you found, like more of what type of garbage?
The main stuff we found was plastic and paper, like on the pie chart. On the pie chart, show a good example of that. Here we see like plastic is 54% or something like that, and then we get the paper that's like 25%. And what intrigued me about that was that plastic and paper are two of the most recyclable garbage, and I couldn't understand why people weren't taking this to recycling bins. I know we don't have any set up, but we're working on that right now to get some recycling bins, and people will be able to throw their plastics and their papers in these bins, or if not, just sort it out at home and then we can pick it up. We're working on that right now, but we're not sure if it's going to go through yet.
Why do you feel that this upkeeping of the environment is such an important issue?
Well, when we were younger, we never really thought of anything, you know, you're driving along in the car and you just toss a bottle out the window or you toss a bag out the window, and no one really ever thought anything of it. But then I started studying like the depletion of the ozone and stuff. And right now, we're not like, you can't go outside without sunscreen. You know, the thought of skin cancer is always in the back of your mind, and you're saying to yourself, am I going to get skin cancer if I go outside without any sunscreen? But imagine in 20 years or 50 years or 100 years time, what the ozone is going to be like. Are we going to have one? And the reason the environment is such an important issue is because without the environment, we can't survive. Every animal, every plant, every vegetable, whatever, you know, what have you, we're sort of codependent on it.
Right.
So if something happens to these animals, like I'll just use a cow for example. If there's an aerosol, if you throw an aerosol can out the window, or you just throw it, chuck it somewhere, and some of the aerosol goes on the grass, and the cow eats the grass, and we eat the cow as a steak or something, we're eating poison. And if we don't smarten up, some people might laugh at this comment or take it the wrong way, but the human race is going to be erased. It's a kind of scary thought, but it might not happen tomorrow, it might not happen in 100 years' time, but someday it will if we don't just get on the ball and do something about it. So that's why I feel that the environment is an important issue.
Are you getting a lot of support from the communities?
Well, what we tried to do was get all the communities together, but maybe our advertising wasn't good enough because not many people showed up. But when we were cleaning, you saw people outside going, you know, good job, and it's nice to see that you guys are doing this, and we got a lot of moral support.
Oh, that's good, yeah.
So it was good in that way, because everyone sort of was glad to see us doing something for the parish and stuff. And just before the festival, look clean for the festival. And plus, if you have a lot of garbage, you might not notice it around here as much, but in the big cities, there's just a weird smell.
Yeah.
And you don't want that around here, because it's just so nice around here, and you just don't want stuff like that. It ruins it. It ruins it for everyone else. Because we gotta, like, our community is rich in culture, and everyone's just, you know, happy-go-lucky sort of thing. And I mean, garbage just doesn't help, because it just destroys the beauty of the place.
So what's the strangest thing you found on the sweep?
We were cleaning down by the government wharf in Petit de Gras, and me and Joel were cleaning, and we're picking up wood, and I looked over and I saw something that looked like a big log, and I looked at Joel and said, "What is that?" So we took a walk over, and it was the remains of a cat that had been drowned. Right. So we just looked at it, and we were like, I looked at Joel, I said, what would have happened if a little kid, you know, like a 5-year-old would have walked by and would have saw this? Yeah. Like, it would probably haunted them for days. So we were thinking, there's no need of this. Yeah. So we told Robbie, and then they contacted the RCMP and stuff, and they got it off the beach. And we found the seagull and stuff like that. But that's about it.
What could we do as a community to keep the environment cleaner and safer?
It's pretty simple. A lot of people go, like, think in the detail, you know, like recycling, and how you're going to do this. But even if everything is taken to the dump, it's not good for the ozone, but at least the area looks clean. I mean, you can't have everything to perfection like everyone wants it, but if everyone were to, like, when you're driving along in a car, instead of tossing stuff out the window, have a bag in your car hooked up to the ashtray maybe, and instead of throwing a pop bottle out the window, throw it in the garbage bag. Right. And then when you get home, just take the stuff from the garbage bag, or take the garbage bag and take it inside the house and put it in your garbage can. And then the garbage truck will pick it up. Then there's also the thing with cigarette butts. We found a lot of cigarette butts, like everywhere, and you could tell where ashtrays have been dumped. Instead of doing that, just butt out your cigarette in the ashtray in the car, because everyone's got one. I haven't seen a car yet that didn't. So why not just butt out your cigarette in there? Then when it's time to dump the ashtray, take it in the house, soak it with water to prevent fire, if you just put one out or whatever, and just put it in the garbage, and it'd save everyone a lot of hassle. Then there's this thing for the ocean, where the ocean's polluted. Like, we just lost our main industry down here, like our main source of employment. And it's not all due to pollution, but a major part of it was. Like, 6-packs for, like, cans, those plastic, I mean, a fish could choke in that. A fish could die just getting into that, and everything else, like oil containers being dumped overboard and stuff like that. Just keep it on board and wait till you get to shore. Then you dispose of it.
So part of the blame can go to the fisheries for not being informed on.
Yeah.
Certainly.
So, like, maybe it's a lack of information. And then as far as, like, the sides of the roads and the ditches and stuff, if everyone were to clean their own yard, like everyone that has a house were to clean around their house and the yard, the whole community would be clean, because around here the houses are just so close to each other.
Yeah.
If everyone cleans their own yard, everything's going to be clean. So that's what I was looking at more than anything else.
So if people were interested in getting some information from this booklet, where would they go about getting it?
The main thing about this booklet is that it's in French. We didn't get a chance to do it in English. Maybe on my own time I might, but as far as the grant goes, we just don't have enough time to do it in English. But to pick one up, you can pick one up just to leaf through it, sort of thing. You can go to the credit union or the co-op or the library in Petit de Gras. And we have 2 copies at each place. So if you're ever in there and you just want to check it out, just leaf through it. And if it interests you and you want one for yourself, just call us at the college. And we have it on disc, so all we have to do is, like, print it. And then you'll have one for your own personal use, sort of thing.
All right, great. Thank you very much for being with us today, Billy.
Thanks
My
for
name is
having me.
Melanie. Thanks. My name is Melanie Poirier. Thank you for watching Tell Il.